Ladies and gentlemen, today we discuss a sensitive but powerful subject, the hidden layers of a woman's dignity, strength, and wisdom. A woman is often told to be transparent, open, and vulnerable. But the truth is that not everything should be revealed, especially to a man. This is not about secrecy born of deception, but about protecting one's value, self-respect, and inner strength. Just as a diamond must be shielded in velvet, a woman too must know what to keep close to her heart. Not every truth deserves to be spoken, not every emotion deserves to be exposed, and not every thought should be laid bare. In this lies her grace, her mystery, and her power. Today, I present to you 5 things a woman must always hide from a man, explained through 7 key points of wisdom. One of the most important things a woman should always keep hidden from a man is the true extent of her financial independence and the resources she possesses. Money, wealth, savings, or even the smallest backup funds. These are not just material assets, they are symbols of freedom. A financially independent woman is not chained by fear, nor is she forced to tolerate disrespect, because she knows she has the power to survive on her own terms. If a man knows exactly how much a woman owns, there is a chance that he may attempt to manipulate, control, or even take advantage of that knowledge. Some men may become dependent on her financial support rather than carrying their own responsibilities, while others may feel intimidated by her independence and try to diminish her self-worth. By keeping this area private, a woman ensures balance in the relationship and protects herself from being seen only as a provider rather than a partner. Moreover, financial independence is not only about protecting wealth, it is about preserving dignity and choice. A woman who has her own resources can walk away from toxic relationships, stand firm in her decisions, and live without begging for approval. Imagine a situation where a woman has savings and investments that her partner knows nothing about. In times of crisis, whether emotional, financial, or personal, she will have a lifeline. This secret fund becomes her invisible armor, allowing her to rebuild her life with grace without having to depend on someone who may not have her best interests at heart. History, culture, and even modern society have shown us countless examples of women who lost everything because they revealed too much about their financial state to the wrong people. Some were left with nothing after being deceived. Others were forced to compromise their dignity because they lacked independence. A wise woman learns from these lessons. She understands that money is not just paper. It is security, it is respect, and above all, it is freedom. Does not mean a woman should never share expenses, contribute to a relationship, or build a financial partnership. It means that the entirety of her resources must remain her private knowledge. Let the man see your wisdom. Let him witness your ability to manage. Never let him calculate the exact measure of your wealth. In truth, financial independence is a woman's silent power. It doesn't need to be spoken about. It only needs to be held tightly. When a woman hides this aspect of her life, she does not do it out of dishonesty. She does it out of self-preservation, out of wisdom, and out of respect for her own dignity. Because the reality is simple, when a woman controls her money, she controls her choices. And when she controls her choices, she controls her destiny. A woman's heart is like an ocean, calm on the surface, but holding unimaginable depths within. Inside those depths lie her doubts, fears, and insecurities. These insecurities are not signs of weakness. Rather, they are reflections of her humanity, her struggles, and her inner battles. But here lies the wisdom. A woman must never expose her deepest insecurities to a man, no matter how close he seems, or how much he insists on knowing. Why? Because insecurities once spoken become weapons in the wrong hands. A man who truly loves and respects a woman will never seek to exploit her vulnerabilities, but not every man is built that way. Some men, consciously or unconsciously, store a woman's fears like secrets in a box, only to pull them out later during arguments or moments of power struggle. What was once shared in trust can later become a knife that cuts her dignity. For example, imagine a woman who confides that she feels she is not beautiful enough, or not smart enough, or not capable enough. At first, the man may comfort her. But over time, if his respect falters, he might say, "You always said you're not good enough. Maybe you're right." What began as a moment of vulnerability becomes a chain around her neck, constantly reminding her of her weakest moments. Insecurities are like fragile glass. Once broken in front of the wrong eyes, they can never be pieced back together without scars. That is why wise women choose silence over exposure. They share their struggles with God, with a trusted mentor, running through the park, or with themselves in the quiet of the night, but they do not hand them over to someone who may one day weaponize them. Another reason insecurities must be guarded is because mystery protects value. A woman who carries herself with grace, who does not constantly reveal her doubts, appears stronger and more balanced in the eyes of others. Men respect what they cannot easily figure out. If a man sees a woman always doubting herself, questioning her worth, or confessing her fears, his admiration may fade. Instead of seeing her as powerful, he may begin to view her as dependent or fragile. Now, this does not mean a woman should act like she has no struggles. It means she should choose wisely whom to reveal them to and how much to reveal. Sharing everything with a man does not guarantee love. It sometimes guarantees pity, or worse, manipulation. A woman's insecurities are her private battlefields, and only those who have proven loyalty, kindness, and strength deserve even a glimpse of them. Remember this: your insecurities are temporary. They can be healed with time, faith, self-love, and growth. But if you hand them over carelessly, they can become permanent scars inflicted by others. Protect them until you have conquered them yourself, because true power lies not in showing the world where you are broken, but in showing the world how you rise, how you stand, and how you glow despite the cracks. A woman must always guard her insecurities like hidden scars, because once healed, they become her story, not her weakness. Family is the root of every individual. It is where we inherit our values, our strength, and even our struggles. For a woman, her family's name and dignity are treasures more precious than gold. And because of that, a woman must be extremely careful never to reveal the deep secrets, weaknesses, or private matters of her family to a man, no matter how close he seems or how much trust exists in the relationship. Why is this so important? Because family secrets are not just stories. They are the fabric of honor, reputation, and legacy. The private matters of parents, siblings, or relatives are not hers to expose. Once spoken to the wrong ears, those secrets can spread like fire, damaging not only her family's image but also her own. Running through the park, a man who knows too much about her family's flaws may start to judge her through those flaws, forgetting that every person is an individual bred from the mistakes of their relatives. Let us imagine a simple example. A woman shares with a man that her brother is struggling with addiction or that her parents are caught in financial disputes. In moments of closeness, this might seem harmless. But if disagreements arise later, that same man might say, "No wonder you're like this. Look at your family background." Suddenly, the pain she once shared in trust becomes a weapon used to insult not only her but also her bloodline. This is why wise women remain silent about their family's private matters. They understand that love between a man and a woman may fade, blood relations remain forever. A broken relationship with a man can be replaced, but the shame of exposing family secrets can never be undone. Protecting those secrets is not only an act of loyalty, but also a reflection of maturity and integrity. Another reason to hide family matters is that not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Relationships between families are delicate. If a man learns too much about a woman's family issues early on, he may begin to form negative opinions, hesitations, or even prejudices. This could create unnecessary distance between him and her loved ones. On the other hand, if he is never made aware of those private struggles, he will approach her family with respect, free from preconceived judgment. It is also worth remembering that trust is tested in silence. A woman who knows how to protect her family's secrets demonstrates strength and wisdom. A man who sees her keeping those boundaries will respect her more, because he will realize that if she can remain loyal to her own family, she will also remain trustworthy in other areas of life. Cultural wisdom across generations teaches us that the dignity of a household is preserved not by wealth, not by status, but by discretion. When a woman protects her family's privacy, she safeguards not only her parents and siblings but also herself. Because once her family's name is stained in the eyes of a man, it may never be cleansed again. This does not mean a woman should never speak about her family. She can share the joys, the love, the celebrations, and the achievements proudly. But the struggles, the disputes, the hidden pains, those belong within the four walls of her home, not to be narrated as stories of entertainment or tools of sympathy. In truth, silence in such matters is the highest form of respect. Hiding her family's secrets, a woman protects her roots, strengthens her dignity, and proves that she values loyalty over temporary emotional release. Because at the end of the day, people will forget what you said, but they will never forget what you revealed. And once a family's private life is revealed, no amount of regret can undo the exposure. So, a woman must always remember her family's secrets are like sacred jewels. They must be locked away with care, guarded with loyalty, protected with wisdom. The man who truly loves her will respect her silence, and the woman who truly respects herself will never trade her family's dignity for temporary comfort. A wise woman understands that silence is strategy and patience is power. One of the most important things she must always keep hidden from a man is her next move in life, her plans, her ambitions, her strategies, and her dreams. Not every intention deserves to be spoken before it becomes reality. Some dreams grow in silence, like seeds planted deep in the soil, protected from harsh winds until they are strong enough to sprout. When a woman reveals every step she intends to take, whether it is about her career, her education, her financial investments, or even her personal goals, she risks more than she realizes. Some men, whether out of jealousy, fear, or insecurity, may try to discourage her. Others may attempt to manipulate her choices, steering her away from her path for their own comfort or control. Some may even sabotage her progress, intentionally or unintentionally, because they feel threatened by her ambition. Think about this. When you tell someone your next move, you give them the power to influence it before it even happens. Words can kill dreams before they are born. Discouraging remark, a mocking laugh, or a doubtful glance can weaken determination. But when you keep silent, you protect your energy and allow your vision to grow stronger without interference. Another truth is that results speak louder than promises. A woman constantly talks about what she is planning to do. Her words may lose weight. But if she works quietly and lets her actions reveal her success, she gains respect and admiration. For example, imagine a woman tells a man she plans to start her own business. He may raise doubts. Do you think you can handle it? What if it fails? Maybe it's too risky. His words may plant fear in her mind. But if she says nothing, works silently, and later announces her business with confidence and results, his response will be entirely different. This time, he will be forced to respect her accomplishment. Keeping your next move private is not dishonesty. It is Self-preservation. Not every dream is meant to be exposed before its time. Just as we do not harvest fruit before it ripens, we must not reveal goals before they are ready to manifest. This also creates an aura of mystery and power. A woman who does not reveal every detail of her plans keeps others guessing. That mystery makes her unpredictable, and unpredictability is a form of strength. When a man cannot fully read her next step, he respects her more, because he realizes she is not someone whose life can be controlled or dictated. Cultural wisdom often says, never announce your moves until you make them. This is because energy flows where attention goes. By speaking too much, a woman may leak her own energy, while by staying silent, she preserves it. In addition, a man who truly values her will not need to know every detail of her plans. He will support her regardless. If a man demands constant knowledge of her every step, it is often not love but control disguised as concern. Therefore, a wise woman keeps her next move close to her heart. She writes her plans in silence, waters them with determination, and waits for the right time to reveal them. By the time others discover what she has been working toward, it is too late to stop her, because the seed has already grown into a tree. In short, hiding your next move in life is not about secrecy, it is about strategy. Protect your dreams until they are strong enough to face the world. Let your actions speak for you, not your premature words. For the woman who masters silence in her ambitions will always remain unstoppable, untouchable, and deeply respected. A woman's heart is one of the most powerful forces in existence. It carries love, compassion, sacrifice, endless resilience. Yet it also carries storms, pain, disappointment, anger, and grief. A wise woman understands that while emotions are natural and beautiful, the full extent of them must never be laid bare before a man. Why? Because emotions are the deepest treasures of the soul, and treasures must be guarded, not scattered carelessly. When a woman reveals every emotion, every sadness, every doubt, every fear, she risks giving away too much of her power. A man may begin to see her not as a balanced individual but as someone dependent on him for validation. The mystery that surrounds her inner world fades, and what once made her fascinating becomes predictable. Emotional transparency is not always strength. Sometimes it becomes a weakness when placed in unworthy hands. Consider this. If a woman constantly pours out her anger, jealousy, or insecurities to a man, he may use them to manipulate her. She reveals how deeply she fears losing him. He may take her for granted. If she confesses every detail of her love, he may stop valuing it. Because what is freely given without restraint is often underappreciated. Silence, on the other hand, keeps her emotions sacred and respected. This does not mean a woman should become cold or emotionless. True intimacy requires some level of vulnerability, but there is a difference between expressing love and exposing the entire soul. A wise woman shows enough emotion to connect, but never so much that she loses her balance or control. She understands that a man must earn the right to see her deepest emotions, and even then, not every corner of her heart is for him to access. Another reason to guard emotions is that emotions shift with time. What feels overwhelming today may feel insignificant tomorrow. But if a woman reveals every passing wave of her emotional state, a man may label her as unstable or overly dramatic. By keeping certain feelings within herself until they settle, she not only protects her dignity, but also maintains her strength in his eyes. Emotions are also a source of mystery and attraction. Men are often drawn to women who do not expose everything at once. When a woman maintains a certain level of emotional composure, she creates intrigue. A man wonders, what is she thinking? What does she truly feel? That mystery keeps him invested. But if every emotion is revealed instantly, the mystery dies, and with it, part of her charm. Think of queens, leaders, and influential women in history. They did not display every tear, every fear, every burst of joy in front of others. They held their emotions with grace, showing strength even in moments of difficulty. This did not mean they had no emotions. It meant they understood that controlling their emotional display was a form of power. In relationships, balance is key. Show love, but not desperation. Show care, but not dependence. Show pain, but not total helplessness. Because once a man sees that your world rises and falls entirely based on him, he may stop respecting the strength that drew him to you in the first place. So, a woman must remember her emotions are like a sacred flame. She can let it warm the man she loves, but she must never hand him the fire entirely, because if mishandled, that same fire can burn her dignity. In end conclusion, hiding the full extent of emotions does not mean suppressing love or rejecting vulnerability. It means protecting the sanctity of your heart. A woman who controls her emotional expression is not cold. She is wise. She knows that emotions are her crown, and a crown must be worn with dignity, not thrown at someone's feet. Every human being, no matter how wise or successful, carries a past filled with choices. Some good, some regrettable. A woman is no exception. Her journey is shaped by experiences, trials, errors, and lessons learned along the way. But here lies a crucial truth. A woman must never feel obligated to reveal the full extent of her past mistakes to a man. Her past belongs to her, and it is not a burden she must place in the hands of someone who may not value or protect it. The world can be unkind, and people often judge harshly. What may have been a youthful error, a bad relationship, a failed decision, or a moment of weakness can be held against a woman forever if she shares it with the wrong man. While she may see those mistakes as lessons that shaped her into who she is today, he may view them as flaws that define her character. Instead of admiring her strength for overcoming the past, he may reduce her worth because of it. For example, if a woman openly confesses every failed relationship she has been in or every wrong turn she once took, there is a danger that the man may compare her to those mistakes. He may feel insecure, suspicious, or even superior, using her own honesty against her. In moments of conflict, he might say, "No wonder you did this. You've always been like that. Look at your past." The very truth she once revealed in vulnerability becomes a weapon used to wound her dignity. A wise woman knows that not everyone deserves access to her history. Some chapters are meant to remain closed, not because of shame, because they no longer serve her present. Her mistakes shaped her, yes, but they do not define her. Sharing them unnecessarily only risks placing power in the wrong hands. It is important to remember that mistakes are not permanent stains, they are stepping stones. What matters most is not where a woman once fell, how she rose after the fall. However, not every man has the maturity to see mistakes as growth. Many will only see them as weakness. That is why silence about the past is not deceit. It is protection. This does not mean a woman must hide everything if she is in a relationship built on deep trust. It does mean she must choose wisely what to reveal, when to reveal it, and how much to reveal. Not every detail is necessary. Not every scar must be shown. Some parts of her past are hers alone, locked away as sacred reminders of her journey. Furthermore, a woman who constantly talks about her past mistakes may unintentionally trap herself in them. By repeating those stories, she relives the pain, the guilt, and the regret, instead of focusing on the freedom of the present and the promise of the future. Silence, on the other hand, allows healing. When she refuses to let her past dominate her conversations, she demonstrates that she has outgrown it. Society often places heavier judgment on women than on men. A man's mistakes may be excused as experience, while a woman's mistakes are often exaggerated into flaws. Knowing this, a wise woman guards her past carefully. She refuses to let it be twisted into a narrative that lessens her worth. In truth, a woman's past is her private diary. Only those who have proven deep loyalty and unconditional love may glimpse certain pages, and even then, not the entire book. Because at the end of the day, she is not the sum of her mistakes, she is the product of her survival, her resilience, and her growth. In conclusion, hiding past mistakes is not about denial, it is about dignity. A woman who carries herself with grace understands that her past is a stepping stone, not a confession booth. She owns her growth. She does not hand over her scars to someone who may not know how to value them. Her past made her strong, her present and future define who she truly is. The greatest treasure a woman possesses is not her beauty, not her charm, and not even her intelligence. It is her ultimate strength. This strength is invisible to the world yet unshakable within her. It is the force that allows her to endure storms, rebuild after losses, love after heartbreaks, and rise again when life pushes her to the ground. But here lies the wisdom: a woman must never fully reveal the depth of her ultimate strength to a man. Why? Because strength, when exposed in its entirety, can be underestimated, challenged, or even exploited. If a man knows exactly how much she can endure, he may push her to those limits, assuming she will always survive. If he sees her resilience as endless, he may take her sacrifices for granted, believing she will always forgive, always compromise, always adjust. What was once her strength could then be mistaken as weakness, making him careless with her heart and her respect. A wise woman knows that part of her power lies in mystery. Let a man see glimpses of her strength, never the full depth of it. Let him know she is capable, but never let him measure her endurance, because when someone thinks they can predict exactly how much you can handle, they may begin to test those boundaries. By hiding the true extent of her strength, a woman keeps her power protected and her dignity intact. Of the strongest women in history, leaders, queens, mothers, warriors, they never revealed every detail of their resilience, fought battles in silence, endured hardships in dignity, and let their victories speak louder than their struggles. A woman's ultimate strength is not meant to be narrated in words, it is meant to be witnessed in results. For example, consider a mother raising her children through hardship. Her sacrifices are immense. She does not narrate every sleepless night or every silent tear to others. Her children see the results of her strength in the life she builds for them. Or consider a woman who survives betrayal or heartbreak. She does not tell every detail of how deeply she was wounded. She simply rises stronger, calmer, wiser. That silence makes her power even greater. Another truth is that revealing too much strength can sometimes intimidate the wrong men. Instead of admiring her, they may feel insecure or threatened. A man who fears a woman's strength may try to diminish it, to make her seem less, to feel bigger himself. By holding back and not revealing everything, she avoids unnecessary battles and keeps her strength as her private weapon. Strength is not only about endurance, it is also about choice. A woman who hides her strength wisely chooses when to display it and when to keep it within. Sometimes silence is stronger than words, and sometimes walking away is stronger than staying to fight. Not every man deserves to see how powerful she truly is, because not every man can handle that truth. Moreover, ultimate strength is spiritual. It is the unseen connection a woman has with her Creator, the faith that sustains her when nothing else does. This strength is not for show, it is sacred. By keeping it hidden, she honors its divinity. She knows her strength is not for the world's approval, it is for her survival and her destiny. A wise woman never lets a man believe he has seen all of her. She always keeps a part of herself private, unshaken, untouchable. That hidden strength is her armor, her crown, and her secret power. In conclusion, a woman must never reveal the full extent of her ultimate strength. Let her keep it as her hidden weapon, her silent flame, her untold story. Because once a man believes he fully knows her, he may take her for granted. But when he realizes she carries a power beyond what he can ever comprehend, he will respect, admire, and honor her. Her strength is not for the world to measure. It is for her to guard. And that mystery, that untold depth, is what makes her truly unstoppable. In the end, my sisters, remember this: not everything that is hidden is a lie, and not everything that is spoken is truth. A wise woman understands the sacred art of silence, mystery, and self-protection. By guarding her finances, shielding her insecurities, protecting her family's secrets, concealing her next move, moderating her emotions, keeping her past mistakes private, and preserving the depth of her strength, she does not weaken herself. She empowers herself. A woman's dignity does not lie in how much she exposes, but in how much she wisely chooses to withhold. Her silence is not emptiness, it is power. Her mystery is not distance, it is respect. And her boundaries are not walls, they are crowns placed upon her head. So, every woman walk with grace, with wisdom, and with unshakable strength. Hide what must be hidden, share only what is necessary. Always protect the kingdom of your heart. Because a woman who knows what to reveal and what to conceal will always be admired, respected, and remembered, not as ordinary, but as extraordinary.